Morning, everybody. It's May 27th at 9 a.m. We'll start our meeting with public comment. Anybody online? Please raise your hand or type in the chat. All right, kick it off with Kim Bales. Talk about the appointment of a library board trustee.
Yes. Good morning, commissioners. Kim Bales, library manager. After reviewing the applications and considering the current needs of the board, the trustees unanimously support the appointment of Alexis Webb. She brings a strong commitment to public service, a thoughtful understanding of our community, and a genuine interest in supporting the mission and long-term vitality of the library. Alexis is being recommended to fill the remainder of a term vacated by a trustee who resigned, and this term will run through June 30th of 2028.
Perfect.
I was very pleased to see that you had more than one
Me
applicant,
too.
which was very exciting.
Yes.
So do you have, at the end of this year, are there gonna be more people coming
Yes,
up?
right now we have an upcoming vacancy. So we're looking for someone right now. It closes on June 11th, I believe.
Okay.
So the upcoming vacancy ends June 30th, or the term ends June 30th.
So were these other people, will they kind of, do you think
Mhm.
they're gonna just put forward?
Yeah.
That's good. I
Yeah.
was very pleased to see that.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah, I was excited.
Okay, so I'm assuming we just put it on the consent agenda,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Okay,
Well, thanks for
Okay,
coming
thank you.
down.
Yes, that was quick.
Yeah.
Well, that was a
Easy.
quick one, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
All right. Katie Plum,
Morning.
good morning.
I have an agenda, contract amendment or agreement amendment with Oregon Health Authority. This is a carve out of the Rural Health Transformation Program coming through, the Center for Medicaid Services. And Oregon carved out an allotment of that award to go specifically to local public health authorities. So this bucket of money is separate. There's a competitive grant process that is currently happening across the state where anyone can apply for it. This is very specific to local governmental public health. And so the proposal is that Crook County would receive a little over $200,000, 204 and 31. The timelines are disastrous for this funding stream. Oregon officially received the money in December, and it's taken this long to get through all of the hoops to get money allocated into communities. So technically, the funding could have started in December. We don't tend to spend things until it's in contract, and so we have a contract here. I'm confident in the money coming through. Even with this amendment coming through now, we didn't propose to spend any of the dollars until July 1. So these funds are built into our budget proposal, those for fiscal year 27. We don't anticipate touching this until July 1, and then we anticipate having it spent June 30th, 27. Yes, 27. Next fiscal year, essentially. There's timelines that say that we can spend it beyond that we could have spent it before that. It was the cleanest, the most straightforward, to spend it within the time frame of next fiscal year. That being said, we do have the flexibility to spend beyond that if we have the funds left over and we need to spend it beyond June 30th, 27. The project that we've proposed, the funding is really geared towards prevention. And so prevention of chronic disease, prevention of substance use. a lot of we didn't want to start a new program. These funds aren't guaranteed beyond a year. So we don't want to hire new staff. We don't want to start brand new initiatives. So we're looking at actually leveraging some of the work that the Community Health Advisory Council has been identifying as needs of cleaning up referral pathways, making sure that people are connected to things like transportation to appointments. So transportation is a focus of this proposal that we put in. Some health navigation, community gatherings where we're talking to people about their insurance, what resources are available here in Crook County. And then behind the scenes, we'll be doing some identification of what resources aren't available here, and then some advocacy to bring in. One thing that's been coming up quite a bit in the Community Health Advisory Council is specialty care. So whether that's a rotation of specialty providers coming here, so folks aren't having to travel out of county for those. That's all part of the work that we're proposing that we do, is really digging into why is it that we're not able to offer some of the services that folks need, so people are traveling, and then doing some advocacy and partner work to come up with solutions for that. There are resources that exist that help people with transportation, with access to food, with rental assistance. We're finding that people aren't getting connected to them, whether that's because those organizations can only be here once or twice a week, or there's long wait line, phone holds, or things like that. So part of this project is dedicating some of our staff time it's staff that already exists within our department, allocating some of their time to help people navigate those resources and actually get connected with them. Some of them, like the transportation for Oregon Health Plan, is the process is pretty onerous to even jump through the hoops to get that transportation set up, or the reimbursements for that transportation. So part of what we would be doing is help walk people through those processes. The other thing with this project we're proposing is dedicating some funding to veteran services so that we have folks, it'll be built into our existing staff to we're already doing it to an extent of screening our veterans for things that they need, like renovations in their homes, or new roof, heating and cooling costs. So part of this project would help give us some dedicated time and staffing to do that work with the veterans specifically. I do anticipate us, if we accept these funds, we would get it before the end of this fiscal year, but again, we wouldn't start spending until July 1.
Perfect, good planning, appreciate that.
Very good, Jean.
Thank you. Consent agenda again?
Yeah, that works.
John?
You guys didn't have to wait long today, did you?
No, I like it. Good morning, commissioners. Let Randy kick us off.
So not a ton of bigger activity to report on the building side. So as you can see, the last 3 years, our numbers have been pretty consistent without the last, the larger projects that we've got going. 13 houses last month, 156 total permits. So even total permits right now, we're managing 621 active permits. About almost 1,000 inspections still a month that we're doing and performing. No real big, larger projects. We're hearing a little bit of possibles on one big project. So we haven't heard 100% definite or a timeline, but there's maybe a possibility of another larger project coming. One big thing you guys might want to know about is Deschutes County and City of Bend. And with Deschutes also includes City of Sisters. They are introducing the R327 out of the residential building code. So R327 is, if you guys can remember, it's been in the code book about 2 cycles, so about 4 to 6 years. It is the fire hardening of homes. It was tied into the mapping that ODF
State of Oregon.
the state of Oregon and those few agencies were put together for the fire areas. So R327 was gonna be tied to those maps so that if you're in a designated wildland fire, you were gonna have to fire light your homes. It's in the code book now that jurisdictions can proactively adopt that into their ordinance and institute those. City of Bend and Deschutes County are both actively putting them in currently. We've been in meetings in our monthly BOs, and those jurisdictions are talking about how they're trying to put together some info packets and information of additional requirements for home submittals for those communities. City of Redmond's looking at it very hard, and possibly even Jefferson, so.
Is that like sprinklers, or what do you have, I mean, what would you have to do if you were building you're just building a regular house?
So what they're doing is, what you'd have to do is it determines out where you can have your E-vents, what type of siding you can have on,
Okay,
where your penetrations can be. If you have decks so far off the ground, they gotta be fire resistant constructed. Your porch covers, your eaves, everything, so. I've looked through it, a lot of it requires like, if your eaves aren't over 12 feet tall, you can't have soffit vents. So in a traditional home, you've got E-vents and then you've got a ridge vent. So that the air can move up and through. So if, you know, a lot of these, the building code goes to 10 feet. Some conditions you can go to 12 for wall heights, but it may require some engineering or extra concrete stem wall heights. It's gonna involve different siding products at times. And so unlike the fire maps when they came out, you remember how they were kind of chopped up and some things didn't quite make sense. Deschutes County, it's blanketed across the entirety of Deschutes County. So if you're in Deschutes County, you will fire harden your own. If you're in City of Bend, you will fire harden your own. So it's gonna come with those additional costs. Some of it doesn't make sense because even like you're exempt, let's say you get an exempt porch cover 200 square feet, you don't need a building permit for it. Code says, or let's say if your deck's under 30 inches off the ground, building code says they're exempt from building permits. So that 30-inch mark is a typical mark where you'd have to enclose the underside of your deck. That way, if a wildfire came and it wouldn't blow up underneath your deck and start the deck on fire and get into the, you know, the unpermitted or unrequired to have permit porch cover. So those are things that, I mean, conditions are gonna happen that people are just gonna build these decks anyways. And even though that the R327 bill would say that you'd have to enclose your decks on the underside of it, you know, a lot of these exempt structures from building permits anyways, you know, we're not gonna see or have the ability to regulate those.
So are we required to do this?
No, and that was the thing, is I've never even really brought it up because ever since the fire bill came about, that seemed to be the unanimous, consistent from board and commissioners, is that was something we would not be interested in adding extra additional requirements to our home builders and homeowners.
And but by doing that, it doesn't stop people if that's what they would like to do with their home.
Correct.
What a joke.
We had 2 of them, when they opened up the ADU in Powell Butte. That was before the fire maps came in place. If the county so elected to do ADUs in the county prior to the fire maps, those ADUs had to meet that requirement. We had 2 of them, one in Powell Butte, one was Mark Westwood's project, and a couple, can't remember the other one was. So Mark had actually found a paint product that we were gonna approve that you could. So that's the problem is, you know, trying to, if you don't want to choose the fire resistant, if you want to do your Breckenridge or, you know, your wood sided exterior, it does not meet the requirements. So some of these paints we found as an option. When that rolled out, the fire maps got canceled prior to him getting final, so he wasn't required to do it because that kind of went away. But I thought I'd let you guys know that way if you hear anything from the other jurisdictions, as they are going full forward with it. Well, we kind of let them know that that wasn't a direction we were gonna take, so they're working out permitting requirements, additional checklists and plan review requirements and inspection requirements in the field, so.
Well, thank you, Randy, for standing up for the citizens.
I just, I don't know, I think it's, I know that it's an insurance wide deal, but I mean, my opinion is some of these big fires that are wiping out these areas, as we've seen in the maps. You know, Mill City Country, all that, Detroit Lake, they're out of the hazard. And so in a few years, that hazard is just gonna grow again and, you know, currently they're out, so until they create that new map, I mean, I just don't think a fire coming through, I mean. Can't say it wouldn't help protect some of the homes, but it just seems that I think they should have the option of what they wanna do. Cause they can meet R 327 all they want and we can't prohibit that.
Which we shouldn't, they should have a choice to do it, but they should also have a choice not to do it.
And in a wind-driven fire, it's gonna go. It's all conditions, really.
In my opinion, I think it's kind of, there is a flaw in there that they're missing is because all these exempt structures, 30 inches and under, that's where it triggers a lot of, you know, you're not enclosing those decks and those decks are lower and at more risk, in my opinion.
Crawls under, yeah.
And so my understanding of it is that even if it's an exempt structure, we couldn't go apply that R 327.
No, but if you have a grass fire, it's gonna crawl right under there and it's gonna ignite. If you have wind, it's gonna ignite no matter what.
Yep. One other big one that I'd like to share, that's gonna affect the commercial world now is historically, we've always ran like a 25-pound snow load, right? 32 ground, 25-pound roof. They are switching from the SEAO, which is the Engineers and Architects of Oregon's model mapping historically of Oregon snow loads. So they went off of multiple sites and locations off of 50-year mean data, and they're switching to a national average. Some areas, even in Crook County, are gonna double in snow load. So right now, it's only applying to the commercial buildings that's in play. They gave the residential, which is gonna have the biggest effect, an exemption till the next code cycle. So we're allowed to apply the old snow loads to the residential world until the next code cycle, which could be about October 1. But that's gonna take a big effect. I mean, like Juniper Canyon, some of that stuff is 25, some of it's 50 pounds now. So you're talking probably bigger rafters, beefed up trusses, stuff like that, so.
Have we ever had a roof, a residential roof cave in into a modern home?
So the only thing that I know of is the reason that we condemned the mill up there and made them go over that was that historic snow load with the wet snow we had was like 2017, is that when that was? When
Yeah.
we had a lot of collapses.
Around Thanksgiving.
And those were vacant buildings. I mean, you know, almost everything that did collapse was vacant. There was no heat in the buildings to do anything there. But that's the only significant crash, and that happened everywhere. But just so you guys know, we got some time on that, the commercial world, if you hear anything from there. But it's the national average. ICC went to this new model code. Oregon adopted it, so now it's in play here.
How much more did like the beefed up rafters cost? Trusses?
It could depend. I mean, you know, maybe let's say you're doing a hand frame roof, 2x10 is required. You might have to go to a 2x12. That would be a tough. I guess I could do, you know, maybe your average truss, 1,500 square foot home. We'd have to take a look and see what the modeling it from the engineers on the truss cost for bottom board life, you know. Could be substantial, especially in the Brasada country, where you're getting a lot of those hipped roofs and, you know, you got snow drift problems, but it's gonna cost a little bit more for sure.
Another way to get lower cost housing in Oregon.
Well, and that's the thing is, you know, the commercial, we gotta have solar ready roofs, we gotta put in solar panel, you know, the provisions for solar charging on all commercial buildings. R 327, the energy measures that they're pushing towards us, it's very difficult to see how they're trying to balance affordable housing with all these new requirements, in my opinion. Anyway, just wanna let you guys know that, because they are going forward with that. It was something I thought about last night to let you know.
Thanks. John?
Kind of in all four divisions, we're kind of humming along here. kind of in line with the prior 2 years, and so things are kind of leveling out. On the planning side, it was more busy than the prior year. So we had 37 applications in April, which is 29 last year, but we're still a little bit down year to date and fiscal year. Some of our big applications we're dealing with, we have Hagley Mine. We haven't scheduled that one yet, but it's coming up for the conditional use permit. We just did Hidden Canyon last week. The planning commission approved it. They should have signed the written decision at the first meeting in June.
Can I ask you a question? Did you have any negativity towards Hidden Canyon? Or?
I was surprised there was some public comment. This wasn't, when they're looking at like the whole plan where a lot of stuff is kind of at stake, this is kind of just like a subdivision review basically. And so a lot of stuff wasn't relevant. There was kind of one passionate comment from a member of the public just about, the way life out there is slowly slipping out their fingers, and it was well received, but there wasn't really anything to do about it with this current application. So overall, went pretty well, I think. We are still waiting for the hearings officer on Knife River to send out the scheduling, and the notice will go out. We have another aggregate pit. You guys heard the comp plan amendment on that, the GP LLC one. So we're getting that conditional use permit application scheduled for June. We have another cell tower. Looks like this application is incomplete, so that will be a little bit of time. And we did finally get, I think I sent you guys a letter about DLCD, about that Goal 5 grant. There's one clause in there that me and Eric are still looking at, but otherwise that should be good to go. And came in town last week. We discussed kind of our plans for kicking that off. And so that's exciting. Should be coming basically the next couple of weeks. You guys should start hearing about it. On the city side, looks like they had their EOA hearing last night. Did anybody know? See how that went? I know they've been working that for months. I don't know if that was the end of it or not. Looks like they have a compliance thing going on with the HIP facility. Otherwise, see what they have going on there.
So land use wise, I mean, the hemp thing and the smell has been constant, and you knew it was gonna be constant. Can the city, I mean, can you do anything about an odor thing? I guess that's my thing is, I mean, they knew that was happening when they did the facility. So now it's here.
Yeah.
Can you in land use go against that odor? I mean, how does that work?
Like with any land use, depends on what your authority is. So it depends on what's in your code. If they have like a smell ordinance, which I doubt it, but it's probably something having to do with their approval, with whatever their permit is that has a condition that they need to have certain scrubbers in place that, do X, Y, and Z. And so if they're not meeting that, then that triggers the compliance. On-site was, like I said, right in line, 28 permits for April versus 29 last year, still up year to date, still up fiscal year, but as you can see there on the bars, with all this kind of flattening out, it's all like post-COVID, new normal, I guess. So the code activity is the one that's down. Lewis was out much of April on vacation, and that is evident here. He only opened 4 in April and closed 2, but he's always. It's not even 9:30 yet. That's all we got. Are there any questions?
No, thank you guys.
Appreciate the updates.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Okay. Manager's report.
I don't have anything, sorry, thank you.
Good.
I did Christmas lights yesterday afternoon. Brian already knows we've identified, we're going to do the blue and sparkly snowflake. We're going to do banners. We're gonna do in the summer 4 banners. One will be a hiker in the forest. One will be someone on Prineville Reservoir. We're thinking about maybe doing a fly fisherman, whatever. So those would be in the summer, and then only on the old fashioned light pole, the ones that go in the arch up. And there's 40 of them. And then for the winter, it will be, so there'll just be 2 different types of banners. For the winter, we've identified the blue snowflake and the banner. They have one of the courthouse. They have one of a downtown scene. They wanna do one of the Crooked River with, snow on it. What did I tell you the fourth one was? I can't remember now. Anyway. So, and then the courthouse, we're gonna try to do the garland with the things across that balcony and whatever. Patty Norris has the idea of doing a Christmas village in the plaza. I'm staying away from any of that. I'm focused on the courthouse. I said that was our focus for the county. So,
Pioneer Park would be a really good location for
anyway, so that is it. So we're moving forward.
that. Can we change the hiker to a hunter?
You called Deb Shaw, called Deb Shaw. The idea was to get some
Just give him
recreation
a rifle,
ideas
he
there.
can be hiking it.
But anyway, you can, like I say, you can call, I am focused on the courthouse. And that was kind of what I
I'll call Deb
wanted
after
to
the
focus
meeting.
on. You can tell her. I had a snowmobile. I came up with the idea of maybe a
Snowmobile would be
snowmobile
cool.
in the winter, because that would be kind of something around here, yeah. So anyway, so like I say, we're moving forward, and as, in talking in facilities, the reason we're moving forward, and I've pushed this, is the holiday place right now has 25% off. So
Oh.
why would we wait when we can maybe get a discount? So, right? Women go for bargains. So, long story short, that's why we're moving. So we're gonna meet in 2 weeks, finalize the banners, finalize the way the snowflakes is. We've sent Brianna and I sent in pictures of the courthouse. I'm gonna ask her again where they are, anyway, and we'll move forward.
I'm excited. I know
Oh, I
I
think
certainly
it's
heard
wonderful.
last year that there was a lot of people in the community that would like to have seen a little more a little more holiday oomph out of the county, and I appreciate you diving in
And the other thing about it is they kind of wanted to do like all 40 of the lampposts. I was kind of talking about maybe we just do a tier 1 where we do the main, the courthouse and the plaza, and then we look at that and then we say, okay, what can we add? So we are still talking about the tier 1 versus the tier 2, because that just seemed to me a more kind of better way to do it.
measured.
Yeah, but if the city and the chamber wanna put in more money and do the total, then that's their business. I told them that was kind of there. We're doing the courthouse. So, I'm very excited. I wish it was almost Christmas and we had lights now.
Well, we could do a drive, we could do a Christmas in July.
Yeah.
There you go. But the idea of the Christmas lights, the idea of them being a snowflake is they're going to be winter. So they will go up and then they will stay for a period of time. We won't be going up or down. So it's not Santa oriented or any of that. It's winter. And that's the basis of summer. It's gonna be summer, it's gonna be winter. And the one thing I did wanna stay away from that I kind of suggested was we don't maybe put on there one specific thing. Like if they put a horse on there, let's not make it the rodeo, because then you're catering to a specific group, and I don't feel that's fair because we have a lot of groups in the county. The other thing is I don't like the bucking horse because I feel that's Pendleton. That's Pendleton's thing. So that's letter buck to me. And I said, I don't think we need to copy Pendleton in that respect. I think maybe having a couple both on a horse, like I said, sauntering through the pasture is more universal than a bucking horse. So anyway, so we're getting there. We're gonna get this place decorated up and sparkling. And facilities is very excited. I haven't pumped up. They're ready.
I can only
They're
imagine.
ready to get on it.
She said she's gonna order them Santa hats.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Well, that's for the caroling. For the
Yeah.
caroling,
Yeah.
when they gave out cookies, they had them Santa hats. So I'm gonna order them Santa hats when we do the caroling. They did ask that we can't have any cookies with sprinkles on it because they had cleaned sprinkles up for so long. So I will eliminate sprinkle cookies, even though the children do love them.
Perfect.
But we're gonna have some good holiday spirit. Get ready.
Ryan?
I don't have anything.
Okay, anybody from the public online that wants to weigh in on anything? Raise your hand or please speak in the comments.
It sounded like somebody.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, I seconded. I'm sorry. I was like, okay. I forgot Robert's rule of orders there for a while, I
Any
guess.
discussion?
No,
All those in favor?
aye. Hermer guy.
Crawford, aye.
Already know.